What's going on, people? Welcome back to JABULANI XI, and welcome back to another episode of the Ideal Prospect. Before we get into things, make sure you hit the like button, comment as we are discussing, and make sure you subscribe too, so you can know when we go live next, and you know whenever we upload another video. Once again, I am joined by the main man, football journalist Anthony. How you doing today, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Today we've got an exciting player again. We've opted for a Nigerian player again this week, but you know they're on the scene, bro. They're popping. So we've got to talk about them. This week's episode of the Ideal Prospect will feature Nigeria's 21-year-old superstar, Mr. Samuel Chukwueze. Now, just to give you a little background on Samuel, born in Umuahia. I think I've watched that in Nigeria. Obviously of Igbo descent, brought up in a Christian home as well. Just off the back of from when you've seen him, what was your initial impressions of him?
For me, first when I see him, he was rapid. You know, one of them players that you don't want to be against them one-on-one. You know, and I thought, you know, he's a very, very humble player. I've seen a few interviews he's done. You know, he's a player who recognizes his humble beginnings, where he came from. And you know, that's always good in a footballer. Cause you know, some footballers are think they're all high and mighty because of their position, but you know, this is a guy that appreciates where he's come from, and you know where he's got to now, which is mightily impressive, straight from the Diamond Football Academy in Nigeria. You know, so you know, from what I can see of him, you know, he's got a massive future if he can, you know, continue to keep his head, continue to you know, keep humble. You know, he's gonna go far, definitely.
And like you were saying, obviously, him coming from the Diamond Football Academy in Nigeria, I think we all know how difficult it can be for, you know, African-born players to come over to Europe and to become a star. You know, thankfully, we've seen a lot of African players over the years shine. You know, we can name a few. You know, the likes of Sadio Mane, you know, Mo Salah, Aubameyang, players like that. You know. What do you think a player needs to have in their mentality to, you know, come from a place like that, you know, and to make it in Europe?
Well, first of all, you know, the reason why he's at Villarreal is because they saw something special in him, you know, and you know when you see him play, you know, he's got that pedigree, he's got that you know, those ingredients needed to, you know, be one of the top wingers in La Liga. So you know, for you know, as we've seen from Salah and Mane and Aubameyang, you know, coming from where they're from, you know, it's not the biggest places, it's not the biggest, you know, they're not the most fluent or you know, riches, you know what I mean? They come from, you know, I'm not going to say poor backgrounds, but you know, backgrounds where you'd expect, you know, them to not be, you know, how can I put it, you know, not be
facing a lot of adversity, I'd say.
Yeah. So that so you know, you'd expect them to be when they make the grade, you know, to be humble, to be, you know, to be thinking, okay, yeah, I've come from this place and look at the position I'm in now. So you know, certainly for Samuel Chukwueze, you know, it's that kind of positioning he's in as well right now. You know, you know, realizing where he came from, how big he's doing right now. You know, where he can be in the future. So you know, certainly for him, it's a really, I could say a big experience for him, because Villarreal is a big club. And you know,
massive.
To now know where he's at now, you know, it's a very, you know, very good experience for him.
And obviously, you know, fast forward from him, you know, joining Villarreal from the Diamond Football Academy. He obviously made his first team debut in September 2018 in a 2-2 draw against Roma in the Europa League. I feel like the Europa League has been used as a tournament where, you know, managers are able to just experiment with young players and use them. But, you know, going up against Rangers ain't easy. I'll give you that. And he did impress me, you know. I saw the pace, I saw the skill. And it's nice to see a skillful African player, because a lot of the time, you know, when like pundits or, you know, journalists think of African players, they're just thinking about the pace and the strength. You know, we're always just kind of put into that one box. But to, you know, to see a skillful player, especially from my home country, you know, and your home country too, you know, it's impressive. And obviously, moving on from that, he was named Villarreal's breakout player of the season. In that same year, he made his debut. You can see him there alongside Santi Cazorla, who was named Player of the Year at Villarreal, and obviously 𝗘𝗥𝗬𝗏, who was the top goal scorer. You know, I wanted to kind of just touch on that, because also in April 2019, he won the Nigerian Football Federation's Young Player of the Year award. You know, and I wanted to touch on accolades for young players. Do you think, you know, when a young player receives this many accolades, do you think it can be a confidence booster, or sometimes it can get to the player's head? Because, you know, I've seen young players break onto the scene and then in 2 years you never hear about them again. You know what I mean? So yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so that's a good question. You know, as we said before, you know, you know, for a player of Chukwueze standing, you know, he realizes where he comes from. You know, so getting all these awards, I don't think it's a thing where you can say, okay, look at me, oh, I'm this, I'm big, I'm this. You know, it's a reflection of the hard work that he's put in. You know, to come from the Diamond Academy straight through to the Villarreal Youth Academy, you know, that's no mean feat. You know, so especially for someone like him, I wouldn't say it's something that they can be, you know, too arrogant about. It's just about their, you know, their hard work, and how they see themselves in the future. If they can carry on their you know, their character, you know, their humility, and you know, for a player of Chukwueze's ability, you know, it's now time for him to, you know, continue that, you know, and continue to work hard, because with Villarreal, they do have exposure. So if you perform for them, you know, who knows where you could go in the future.
Do you think him being humble has just played a part in his journey? Because, like I was saying, you know, you've seen a lot of young players who may have come across as arrogant, and then, you know, after 2 years of breaking onto the scene, you know, you never hear about them again. So do you think him being humble just throughout the rest of his career will just give him longevity?
Yes, definitely, and also confidence in his own ability, because we you know, as we've seen, this guy is he's a rapid player. You know, when he's in full flow, he's unstoppable. And as we saw in the first leg, Villarreal against Arsenal, you know, he had Xhaka on toast. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you know, if he can continue that, if he can, you know, work on his weaknesses, work on his on what he needs to improve on, and at the same time being humble, being being willing to learn, being willing to improve, being willing to take on what the manager wants him to do in order to take that next step in his career, then, you know, there's no limit to where he can go. Definitely no limit.
I want to just touch on this comment from Adrian. Shout out Adrian. He says, very tricky player. What do you think is his ceiling, and who would you liken him to, his playing style to?
I've seen a few comparisons to Iron Robin. In that, you know, they love to, you know, go down the line and cut inside and put in a fantastic cross or you know, a shot of some sort, you know. And in terms of their speed and their, you know, the way they go about their football on that wing, you know, it does draw some nice comparisons. But, you know, as we said with Olise, you know, I'd like to think of these players as unique in their own way. And Samuel Chukwueze, you know, he's gonna be, you know, I don't want to say star as make it sound like as a cliche, but he's going to be a very unique player for both, definitely for Villarreal in the future and for Nigeria, especially with the another AFCON coming up. So who knows? Who knows? You might even be one of the star players in that tournament.
I really hope so, bro, because it's been a long time coming since Nigeria lifted that trophy. So we need to get that one back on board. Definitely. But since we're on the topic of international football, let's just move on to his international career. He featured for Nigeria under 17 level, which I think a lot of great young players do. You gotta start internationally quite early. But one thing that stood out about him straight away is the fact that after impressing there and obviously impressing at Villarreal, he got the option to get called up to the Africa Cup of Nations. Now he had to pick between the under-20s World Cup or the Africa Cup of Nations with the main team. Wow. Obviously he chose to go to the Africa Cup of Nations, which I think any player would have done. Scoring against South Africa in Nigeria's 2-1 draw. 2-1 win in the quarterfinals. He was actually the youngest goal scorer in the tournament that year too. So that's another thing he can add to his list of accolades.
Definitely.
Impressive. Obviously Nigeria went on to win the bronze medal that year in the Africa Cup of Nations. I was gutted, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Everyone knows about that Mahrez free kick in the last minute that knocked us out in the semi-finals. But we went on to beat Tunisia in the third place playoff and got the bronze. Do you think? Obviously, people would say it was the best thing for him because obviously he ended up with a bronze medal. But do you think maybe he should have gone to the under-20 World Cup? Because, quick success isn't necessarily everything, Sometimes a player just needs to sit back and just, all right, cool, I could get into this main team, but let me just chill and go to the under-20 World Cup and actually maybe become the star player of the tournament. Do you think it was best for him to just go to the AFCON?
I think in terms of his personal experience, I think going to the AFCON was the right decision. You want to be amongst the top caliber players. Even at a young age, you want to experience what it's like to play in a top caliber competition, and that's what the AFCON is in terms of African football. And even playing, seeing what Mahrez is doing, seeing how he took the honors upon himself to win games for Algeria. That's something that he needs to be picking up in order to be a star for Nigeria. You know what I mean? So in terms of his experience and the level of exposure in the kind of football he's playing, I think it was the right decision for him. Because even if he did go to the under-20 World Cup, I don't think people will have seen what he's about. There wouldn't have been any exposure on his talents if he went there. And going to the AFCON was the right move for him. As I said, the experience is extremely valuable. Certainly for African football players as well.
And even that year, he got nominated for CAF Youth Player of the Year. Unfortunately, lost out to Achraf Hakimi, and Victor Osimhen was also on that list too. There's that's some good names to be surrounded by. Hakimi is a serious problem. A lot of the big teams were trying to snatch him up before he went to Inter Milan. So, one thing I wanted to speak about though was his progress this season. Obviously, he's registered 6 goals and 7 assists in all competitions with Villarreal. And I kind of wanted to tie that into the semi-final against Arsenal. Obviously, unfortunately, he came off injured in a second leg. But he really impressed before that. You can see him here. Obviously, Villarreal going through to the final. His teammate piggybacked him back onto the pitch so he could celebrate with the team at the end, which I thought was nice. But for me, bro, seeing the problems that he gave Xhaka, over those 2 legs before he got injured, and just seeing how he's developed. For me, 13 goal contributions doesn't seem that impressive. Especially across all competitions. I feel like even in that second leg, you could see the way Villarreal kind of the momentum kind of went down when Chukwueze came off. You could see that he's a very important player in that squad. And when you look at players like Moreno and the amount of goals they've scored this season, do you think Chukwueze should have probably added a bit more to his stats?
That's a good and tough question. I think personally, from what I've seen of Chukwueze, I do feel that he could have gotten more numbers. Definitely. I mean, 13 goal contributions this season. It is for he's only what 20, 21. So I do feel it's decent, but when you do have players like Paco Alcácer and Gerard Moreno up front, working with them guys, you're going to be scoring goals and making goals. So I would have expected more, but I don't. I don't want to use it as a stick to beat him with. I want to say that it's a sign of progress in his game. Because he has made a lot of progress. Unai Emery has placed a lot of faith in him, and he's kind of rewarded that faith. And even think about it, Villarreal, they're 6th in La Liga right now. They've scored 51 goals. They're hopefully going to be playing Europa League football again next season. For me as a United fan, I hope it's not through beating us in Europa League. But yeah, they're 6th in La Liga, fighting for that last European spot and for the Europa League. So I would say he's the injury is a shame, a big shame. Hopefully in that picture that we just seen, it means that the injury isn't too serious. Because he is a key player for Villarreal. He's grown considerably this season. As we said, the way he takes players on is just brilliant to see. He's got confidence. There's an aura about his game where he can do the extraordinary and feel no way about it. Okay, that's just me. I can do that every time. And that's the kind of faith that Emery has placed in him. I remember watching him against Barcelona a couple months back, and he was unplayable. And if you can do that against top caliber players, and improve that, be consistent in that, there's, as I said before, there's no reason why you can't, go on to probably, playing for the likes of Barcelona or a big club in England or a big club in Germany. There's no limit.
Let's even touch a little bit on that, because even when he was playing for the under-17s at the under-17s World Cup, before he went to Villarreal, there was talks about him joining the likes of Arsenal, and I know that Manchester United have had some sort of interest in Chukwueze in the past couple of years as well. Do you think he's got the capabilities to play in a league like the Premier League?
Yes, I do. I think that. Though there is one area where I think he should improve. He can improve. Is his composure. For quick and rapid players like him, sometimes they kind of lose their sense of placing when they're trying to beat players. They could do too much and they lose the ball in those vital moments. And that's probably why we say 6 goals and 7 assists isn't enough for his a player of his caliber, because in those positions where you want composure, where you want to stay calm, remain calm, and create opportunities, create chances, that's where he needs to improve on, because there's certain times where he'll beat a man and he'll try and beat another man when there's someone to pass the ball to, in a better position than him. And it's things like that where he needs to improve on, because if you look at let's say for example Mahrez, he's improved remarkably from when he won the league with Leicester. There was still that areas in his game where he tried to do too much, and then the opportunity will be gone. But yet he still worked on that. He still maneuvered this game. He still matured his game in order for Leicester to be the dangerous force they were. And even now for City, Guardiola's
crazy for City, man.
Yeah, he's crazy right now for City, and Guardiola knows that he's a weapon. So if Chukwueze can have that sort of confidence in his own ability, and try and mature his game week in, week out, there's he can reach those levels like Mahrez.
Bro, I'm just in my head whilst you were speaking. I was just thinking about, Chukwueze on the right and hopefully Ademola Lookman on the left. Like the weaponry's mad. The weaponry's it'll be crazy. I'm telling you, man. But I just wanted to just get your thoughts on obviously Villarreal reaching the Europa League final. They're gonna play Manchester United. Manchester United, that's semi-final over the 2 legs against Roma, disgustingly just took them apart. I honestly don't really know how you guys conceded 5 goals across the 2 legs, but scoring 8.
Honestly, I do not know. Honestly, I do not know.
But scoring 8 against a team like Roma is obviously crazy. Who do you think is going to lift the trophy? I know you're a United supporter, but do you think United are definitely the team to beat in that final?
You know me. I'm going to be humble about it. I would love for us to win it, for us to get a trophy on the social, and I hope, and it's not to kind of say that Chukwueze should be injured for the long haul. I hope he doesn't play because Shaw's gonna have a tough time on his hands. Even though Shaw's improved this season, he's gonna have a tough time on his hands playing against Chukwueze. So, but yeah, it'll be a dream for Solskjaer to finally lift the trophy. Come the final. So yeah.
We just got another comment here from Adrian that was kind of linking to your point about his composure. Says, I think it's important to note that he's only 21 and still learning his craft. Composure in the final third should come with time and experience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good point. Great point.
Sure.
And that's something you've seen in there's Mahrez and with regular experience, playing at the top level again. Hopefully Villarreal could be playing in Europe again. That will only further his experience next season, definitely.
For sure. Obviously, as we usually do to end the show, we will go to the fans forum, and it actually kind of links to some of the stuff you were saying about Mahrez. So let's take a look at the tweet. It's from Puja Media. It says Chukwueze needs to watch Mahrez and be effective with that left foot. End product plus some goals, and we have a full-fledged Nigerian beast. What's your thoughts on that?
Yes, I agree. I agree. And there's no reason why Chukwueze can reach Mahrez's levels and be even better. As we've kind of heard from Adrian, he's only 21, and with time and experience, he can reach those levels. So and it's true. There's certain points in Mahrez's games where you see, he does the same thing over and over again, but yet it's still so effective. He'll twist onto his left foot, then go back onto his right foot.
It's just like a Robin, man. Same thing, effective. And,
in those situations where your heart is pumping, you want to do something. Mahrez has that composure because he's gonna make something happen. And I think that's the kind of composure and maturity in Chukwueze's game that I feel if he picks that up, he'll be a beast like was said in that tweet.
Nice one, bro. We're gonna end on that one. Thank you guys for watching the latest episode of The Ideal Prospect. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel as well, so you can know when we go live next time we upload many different content throughout the week as well. So make sure you stay updated on that. Follow JABULANI XI on all social media platforms, where we post news, stats, and updates on all African footballers. And follow us on our socials too. Anthony, he posts a lot whilst the games are going on. You might like reading his tweets, so give him a follow, give me a follow as well. And we'll catch you next week. God bless.